Nearly 100 women have become the first female judges to join Egypt's State Council, one of the country's main judicial bodies. The 98 women were sworn in before the council's chief judge, Mohammed Osam El-Din, in a celebratory event in Cairo on Tuesday. The swearing-in came months after President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi asked for women to join the State Council and the Public Prosecution, the two judicial bodies that until recently were exclusively male. Some of the judges said that they were happy that the dreams of earlier generations of women had finally come true. The council had repeatedly rejected women applicants. In recent years, many women challenged council decisions, arguing that they were discriminated against. Protesters gather against police brutality in Manzini, Eswatini, a country rocked by a wave of pro-democracy demonstrations. Pupils and students of the landlocked nation, formerly known as Swaziland, have been protesting for a number of weeks, boycotting lessons and calling for free schooling, as well as an end to the regime under King Eswatini III.
We condemn the state of brutality that is being demonstrated by the state security forces against the employees, which are basically demonstrating peacefully without any form of violence. In any event, we are determined to push forward on the demands of the workers, one of which is release of the arrested MPs and full democratization of the country so that citizens can enjoy their full rights as citizens as opposed to being subject.
On Saturday, the country, which is Africa's last absolute monarchy, said it had shut its schools indefinitely with immediate effect. King Eswatini III has ruled Eswatini since 1986. The king has accused demonstrators of depriving children of their education by taking part in the protests. 1 year after Nigerian security forces violently suppressed protests against police brutality, survivors and families of victims of the Lekki tollgate shooting are still waiting for justice. The authorities had pledged that those involved will be held accountable, but the victims say they've lost hope. Editor of Pulse Nigeria, Steve Deed, tells us more about this.
It's just a story of sadness and of despair. People who have lost hope. Just the common man and woman, the common parents, the average Nigerian who does not even know what to do, where to even start from. Some people are still looking for the relatives who were there that day, who were there at the Lekki tollgate at that night, and still nothing has been done. There's not been any investigation. There's not been any findings. There's not been any conclusion at all, and that's left them frustrated and really tired of the whole process.
In October 2020, young people across Nigeria took to the streets. They demanded an end to police violence and the disbandment of a special anti-robbery police unit known as SARS. The movement End SARS, to which the security forces responded by firing live ammunition into the crowd on 20 October 2020, came to an abrupt end. At least 10 people died and many remain missing.
Justice is going to be hard because the government has not even acknowledged that the incident happened. So when there's no acknowledgement, there's no justice. Even the judicial panel that was set up to investigate the claims, it has not even concluded its findings a year after. The army, who were the main actors of the alleged crime, they've stopped replying. They've not been cooperative. They've not cooperated very well with the judicial panel. So that's made really justice for anyone, the survivors, the victims, to even be difficult. It has not even gotten to that level.
Faced with popular pressure, authorities dismantled the unit and promised to reform the police, but the youth remained unconvinced by the government's promises.
SARS has been disbanded, but the general overview of that protest was just about all security agencies, overstepping their boundaries and their rights, and and really using their power and their uniform to abuse Nigerians. That message has been passed across, although nothing has changed. There's still some reports of EFCC officials, police officials doing the same thing. But the general overview, the general lessons that protest gave to everyone, including our leadership, is that young people are not scared to come out and express their frustration. I think that fear that Nigerians, we don't want to push these young people over the edge again to make them come out and protest again. I think that fear is already there, and I think that's one of the things that we benefited from that NSAS protest.
Nigeria's Delta region was once an ecological paradise rich with unique wildlife. But years of oil production have had a devastating impact on the area, with oil spills and gas flaring wreaking havoc on local communities and the landscape. Fish farmer Christiana Elwozu is one of 2 million Nigerians living within 4 kilometers of a gas flare. She has lived in her village of Idu for over 40 years, but said for the last 3 years she hasn't been able to catch any fish due to the gas flare nearby. Whenever it rains, the water of the river becomes thick and very dark. So when we cast our nets, there's no fish. In the last few years, you can see the gas has damaged the roof of my house. Everywhere is black because of the dark rain. The Nigerian government has promised to end gas flaring by 2030. A cleanup operation of the region's river state was launched by the government in 2019. Despite criticism, officials say the project is making headway.
And illegal refining activities lead to release of hydrocarbon fumes and gas, which increases this carbon dioxide release in the atmosphere, and consequently has effects on the climate change. However, our remediation process reverses that, because when we remediate impacted soil, we are also providing opportunity for the vegetation to grow again.
In 2020, Nigeria's military dismantled illegal refining sites in the Delta region, which had 174 ovens laden with over 10,000 barrels of suspected stolen crude.
South Africa's drug regulator has rejected the Russian-made coronavirus vaccine, Sputnik V, citing some safety concerns the manufacturer wasn't able to answer. South Africa's Health Products Regulatory Authority, known as SAHPRA, said in a statement that the request for Sputnik V to be authorized could not be approved at this time, referring to past failed HIV vaccines that used a similar technology. On Tuesday, the regulator added that its review process was continuing and that it was still open to receiving any further safety data from the Russian manufacturer. In a statement, the Gamaleya Center, Sputnik V's manufacturer, called the concerns about the vaccine's vector completely unfounded. Also, a late-stage study published in the journal Lancet last year in more than 20,000 participants found that Sputnik V was safe and about 91% effective in preventing people from becoming severely ill with COVID-19.
Yeah, no, I'll get the number, but I know that my company...